I just proved myself wrong multiple times today, and I thought I'd come tattle on myself simply because as I proved myself wrong over and over again today, it made me ask myself, okay, well, what else can I filter through this teaching moment in my life? And I thought maybe tattling on myself will help you filter a few things too. So I'm guessing there's probably several things in your life right now that you feel like, gosh, I am just not going to be able to reach that goal. I've tried, I've attempted, I've even done the work, but I get to the edge of it and I can see I'm not going to be able to bring it to fruition. I'm not going to be able to bring it across that finish line, not in the time frame I'd like. And I'm going to tell you, you're probably wrong. You're probably wrong because you probably also think that you've already done everything that you know to get there, that you've pushed hard, you've shown up, you've done the work. And when you get to the edge of it, you're just like, well, this is as far as I can get it right now. This is as far as I can take it at this time. And maybe you think you need to learn more skill or get better or hire more people, hire a better person, become a better person. I'm going to tell you, you most likely have a lot more strength, knowledge, and skill in you than you know. And you simply are not fully executing on it. You have this stalled strength, knowledge, and skill that while you think you're doing all you can do, you truly aren't. If you would just execute, don't worry about perfection, don't worry about failure, don't worry about falling, just execute, you would likely surprise yourself. I'm going to say, out of all of you guys listening to me, if every one of you had something on the agenda that you're like, yep, I get it, Alicia. I feel that exact way about this, this, and this. And you took action, you just fully executed, even in a way that you think there's no way I'm going to reach that. There's no way I could do that. There's no way I know how to execute that fully yet. If you just moved and did something, I'm going to say out of 100 of you, probably at least 90 of you would be able to surprise yourself and be like, holy crap, I can't believe it. I did. I did have the knowledge, the strength, the skill, the wisdom inside me to do that. I just was holding myself back, thinking it needed to be better, needed to be perfect. I doubted my knowledge, my skill, my strength, and it was holding me back. But if I just took the leap, I would prove myself to myself. I would build that self-efficacy muscle again. I would build that muscle toward action and step away from overthinking. And that in and of itself is a huge win, right? Then you get yourself out of the rut of overthinking, second guessing, doubting yourself and your skill, and thinking it's going to take much longer than it actually will if you would just execute. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know. Well, today I took action on several things that I continue to tell myself felt just out of reach. Like I was this far away from it, but this far away from it is not execution. Now, these were actually lessons on the rock climbing wall today. But as I proved myself wrong time and time again, it made me go, oh my gosh, Alicia, where else are you doing this? And so I sat down on our little couches at the rock climbing gym and did a little bit of journaling as well. So that's what inspired me to come share this with you. For the last week or so, I have been working on a couple of routes, and every single time I think it is literally like a hand's width too far from me. I've tried this, I've tried that. I try to position myself a little bit closer. I try to negotiate my body more agilely. I try to get myself in a little bit stronger position, all to make this reach for a hold that is keeping me from completing the project. All the positioning, all the maneuvering, trying to get the exact right footing and make sure it feels exactly right in my body before I make that final stretch and reach that looks impossible has got me nowhere. So finally, I looked down to the ground. I'm like, what is that, 16, 18 feet? It's not like I haven't fallen like that before. So I just reached further and pushed myself harder than I thought that I could do. And every single time after time, on multiple routes that I have felt completely stuck at, I was like, oh my God, that was so easy. And I finished the route. Once I executed and just said, worst case scenario, I fall. Guess what? I've done that before. I'll be totally fine. Every single time I reached that hold, it felt natural. It felt like I could have done that days ago. I was so worried about getting everything positioned and perfectly. I was so worried about making sure I was positioned and aligned to the best of my ability that I could then easily reach out and grab it, instead of just aligning myself with the skills I know I have, going through the drills, making sure I had done the basic foundational things. Now just go with it. Don't overthink it. Just push yourself harder. Don't wait to get perfectly aligned. Just reach. And every single time, I could not believe how simple and natural it was. I'd been holding myself back for days in a bouldering gym, in a rock climbing gym. It's not the end of the world. But it made me think about how much I was in my own way in my brain, and how much me being in my own way in my brain was literally keeping me from recognizing the power and the knowledge that I already had. I just wasn't actualizing because it was just stored knowledge, energy, and skill. And I wasn't taking imperfect action with it. I was so worried about getting it perfectly aligned that I'd held myself back. And obviously, if I can see that in the rock climbing gym, then it's a logical next step to ask yourself, where else are you doing that? So I did. I journaled it. I now have the solutions of how I'm going to get out of my own damn way for the last of my end of the year goals. My challenge to you is to ask yourself, where are you trying to be so perfectly aligned? Where am I questioning my skill, my knowledge, my talent, my strength? And that questioning is keeping me from just executing and seeing what happens. What's the worst case scenario? Let's execute. Let's see. Because quite frankly, the other case scenario is you don't reach it. And that pretty much sucks too. I proved myself wrong multiple times today, and I am very glad I did it. Let me know what comes to mind for you guys. Let me know where you've been holding yourself back. I'd love to hear yours as well.